I'm here today to speak to you on behalf of Future Care, Inc. We are a leading provider of medical management services for the international seafarer and the maritime community. Ironically, I'm here to speak to you about the advances in technology and telemedicine, and unlike my colleagues who have sophisticated slides to assist, I'm afraid you'll have to endure just me, but I promise to be relatively brief. I would like to speak to you today about the availability of primary health care for the seafarer while on board ship. Particularly, I wish to bring to your attention how the advances in remote medical diagnosis and treatment, or telemedicine as we call it now, make this a reality and why it is important for the entire maritime community. Telemedicine, or the use of electronic equipment to provide remote medical diagnosis and treatment, can trace its roots back to the 1960s, space age, when the U.S. National Aeronautics and Space Administration first put men into space. Beginning primarily with the use of electronic signals to simply transfer medical data, it has grown into a sophisticated, indeed futuristic, system of remote diagnosis and medical treatment. Telemedicine is now used to provide both acute and primary health care to the poor in the rural or remote geographical areas, the elderly, the infirm, and others who travel with difficulty, and of course, now in the workplace. In the maritime environment, remote medical care is accomplished primarily through the improvement of satellite communications, allowing for enhanced video stream while occupying a lower satellite bandwidth. Inexpensive and portable storage of medical data also facilitates this, and the remarkable growth in the sophistication of electronic diagnostic tools available to the ship at sea for the use by the physician on land. The proliferation of both electronic medical devices and software is literally mind-boggling. As we all realize by now, the smartphone has eclipsed the laptop and even tablet computers, combining almost unlimited portability with an application or app for just about everything, including medicine. If you believe the so-called futurists, the mobile phone may be the last external computer device before we are all implanted with a chip at birth. Personally, I can wait for that one for a while. Regarding medical applications, in addition to remote electrocardiograms and other instrumentation, it is now possible to obtain a remote ultrasound from a smartphone. Indeed, the top 10 medical uses of the iPhone include an otoscope, which is an ear and canal examination, a device to allow such an examination, a glucometer for blood sugar measurement, a dermatoscope for high-resolution skin images, and a slit lamp eyepiece digital adapter to view the retina remotely. All of these devices will allow the user to track, manage, and share the data of the individual patient. Why is this important to the maritime community? Because this technology can and does bring enhanced medical care to the seafarer while on board ship. From a human perspective, the quality of life of the roughly 1.3 million seafarers on the ocean has just become vastly improved, benefiting themselves, their families, and their dependents. The longevity of life and medical quality of that longer life for the seafarer is now a reality. The sea's power to diminish the health of those who ply their trade over her vast distances is weakening as we speak. Technology is bridging the gap in the health care available between the land-based and seafaring worker. The benefit to the seafarer is in the provision of both acute and medical and primary medical treatment at sea. A satellite telephone will allow for a land-based physician to speak to the crewmen on board the ship and make a remote diagnosis with some possible treatment options. A video communication via computer or smartphone will allow that same physician to see the patient crewman and in some instances visualize the complaint, thereby affording improved diagnosis and treatment options. An onboard medical kit or a smartphone equipped with the appropriate medical apps will allow that very same physician to measure the majority of vital signs and, depending upon the ailment or injury, examine the condition more closely through high-resolution microscopes. Obviously, the quality of medical treatment improves dramatically in many instances with the level of the technology that is available on board the ship. At the highest level, the physician is about as close as anyone can come to the seafarer while he or she is at their workplace, short of being physically present on board the ship. Additionally, the highest level of technology now allows us for the type of care almost never available to the seafarer while at sea, and that is primary or wellness health care. There are many definitions of the term primary health care, but the one that I like especially is from the University of Ottawa, Canada, Medical School, which says, quote, "Primary care refers to the first contact that deals with the majority of health problems. It is the foundation of any healthcare system, and countries with strong primary care seem to have better health care than those without." I don't think I need a medical degree to state truthfully that the majority of health issues that affect people, certainly working people, are neither acute nor life-threatening, until, of course, the big one. But barring the Grim Reaper, most working people seek medical advice through the years for minor complaints that are truly minor or for chronic conditions. A third possibility concerns minor complaints that are symptoms of something actually or potentially more serious with time. To date, the extent of most seafarers' primary health care consists of the pre-employment medical examination, or PEME, which is preferably conducted as close to signing on board as practical. The PEME has evolved into a widespread, fairly comprehensive medical examination, allowing for a basic overview of the crewman's overall medical health. The PEME is an excellent first step in seafarer primary health care, and it likely has saved or prolonged lives of many seafarers by identifying serious medical conditions before they head seaward. Happily, the vast majority of seafarers receive the coveted fit-for-duty status certification after taking their PEME. However, this doesn't mean that the same seafarers are in perfect health or that they are without physical ailments. It is just that the condition or the conditions noted are not serious enough to keep them from boarding the ship at the time of the examination. The chronic illnesses that afflict many of us in some form or another, hypertension, diabetes, cardiovascular problems, etc., are identified by the pre-employment medical examination and then taken on board by the afflicted seafarer when beginning the ocean voyage. Whether seafarer or employer, I suggest you need to ask yourself this question. Now that the PME has identified these chronic conditions, is there a good reason to ignore them while the seafarer is on board ship? I think that all of us can agree on the correct answer to this one. This is the next level of health care for the international seafarer, utilizing the available technology to monitor and address these chronic conditions, chronic but manageable, while on board ship. There is literally no persuasive reason not to do so. The medical technology and instrumentation is, for the most part, inexpensive and available over the internet. Innovations in satellite bandwidth usage and encrypted technology make the use of this communication inexpensive, safe, and private. The cost and lost time from work is minimal. Utilizing video conference appointment with land-based physicians, scheduled, say, every 3 months, to conduct a simple crewman interview, review of vital signs, and report on management of any chronic condition need take no longer than 15 minutes. Even the time used for an unscheduled physician conference to address a seemingly minor complaint is a better investment than waiting for the condition to deteriorate into an emergency, distracting the ship's command, and in a worst-case scenario, resulting in unscheduled repatriation, deviation, or emergency ship evacuation. As many of you are aware, the combined effect of the Maritime Labor Convention and the IMO standards for training with the Manila Amendments mandate that the community and the flag states are required to provide seafarers with medical care as nearly as possible equivalent to the care they would receive ashore, and to ensure by prearranged system that medical advice by radio and satellite communication to ships is available at any hour of the day or night. In a well-supported article titled "The Business Case for Telemedicine," published in 2013 by Via Medica International, the 5 distinguished authors, in their own words, quote, make the initial assessment of the economic and business reasons in support of both publicly financed and private telemedicine being implemented on board commercial vessels. Their study grows out of a consensus of participants at the International Maritime Health Association conference held in Malta in 2013. The economic reasons for telemedical assistance is compelling. Based in part on data obtained from Future Care and Health Metrics of Manila, the authors estimate that 1 in 5 ships will be forced to divert for medical reasons per year, for an average statistical annual cost of 32,750 euros per diversion per ship. The authors calculate that the depreciated cost of placing on board the necessary telemedical equipment at euros 25,000, and annual training costs an extra 12,000 euros over and above the free services available. The authors conclude the return on investment per vessel from investing in equipment and training would therefore statistically pay for itself in less than 1 year. The conclusion. Okay, so what is the takeaway, as they say, from all of this? Talk about futuristic gadgets. A knee-jerk reaction might be that the crew and the captain won't like it, and the owner doesn't want to pay for it. Well, I respectfully suggest to you that the captain and crew will indeed like the benefits of improved overall health care, greater control over their chronic conditions, and the peace of mind in knowing that even when far out at sea, is that the clock or is that the microphone? That they will have a peace of mind in knowing that even when far out at sea, There are medically trained personnel available to tend to them at a moment's notice. I also suggest to you that the ship owner will consider the minimal investment required well worth the cost and effort, in addition to the intangible but nevertheless real benefits of a healthy crew working on board the vessel, the reduction in medical incidents that reach P&I claim status, in unscheduled repatriation, ship deviation, and emergency, alone justifies the financial costs. The financial benefits are so predictable and significant that I submit to you that in a few years, the P&I clubs will be insisting and paying for primary health care plans on board the vessel as a part of the overall ship loss prevention program. The current technology is reducing the power of the sea to isolate the seafarer from the appropriate medical treatment that he so richly deserves. Humanitarian, legal, and financial forces are combining to break down whatever barriers remain in bringing improved medical care and quality to the seafarer on board the ship while working at sea. I suggest to you that the advances in telemedicine, combined with a well-managed health care program, will revolutionize the life and productivity of the seafarer in a manner similar to the way the shipping container forever altered the transportation of cargo. The future of medicine for the maritime community has arrived. Thank you very much, and I hope that wasn't too bad.